Thank you. So, without further ado, Shudipto, take it away. It's your game now.
Hi, good morning, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining the webinar. I guess it's kind of very we are in a very sad state of mind, and given what's going on, we are I don't know anyone who didn't get impacted. The friends and family and relatives, many of us, having the family back there in India got impacted by the second wave of the COVID, and it really hit us hard. Hit us hard and caught us, a little bit surprised. So we try to kind of look through that, and I try to do our part. Which is to kind of get together, come together as a community. To help out our friends and the families, and we are trying our best. But one wish that I have before I start the webinar, that I wish that we have never ever have to do this again. That's really my wish, and my deepest condolences for everyone who lost their friends and families. Due to this pandemic and the wave, and my gratitude and appreciation to every volunteer and frontline workers who have worked really hard, risk their life to save lives, save humanity, and serve the community. So with that note, I want to actually start the webinar. And thank you everyone for joining. So what is Breathe and Breathe Consortium? I think there's a little bit of background. We started realizing the shortage of oxygen supply, and we looked at the demography, and obviously we are deep rooted, most of us from Kolkata and West Bengal, and we started there, we grew up there. With the resources we had, we didn't think that we could actually serve the whole world. I mean, we wish we could, right? But the reality is, we had to be realistic about our capabilities. In fact, taking on Kolkata and West Bengal was very, very challenging, due to the large population density with the current political situations, elections were going on. And it was like really far-fetched with all the challenges which Manoj is going to explain in a bit. But we really, really wanted to do something for people of West Bengal and Kolkata. We heard a lot of horror stories, we were trying to see how we can actually help. But we knew that without really having people sitting on Kolkata and understanding the situation on the ground, we cannot do this. And we also realized that this is, we have a mountain to move, and we got to, join our hands and come together as a community. So first and foremost, I just like to, describe Mukti is a non-profit. I think many of you have heard about Mukti. Shankar and Mukti has been doing great work on the grounds of Kolkata for a very, very long time. And they have been dealing with COVID, economic development of the rural area for a very long time. And we have worked with them during the first wave of COVID in West Bengal and during Amphan time as well. So Mukti is the one who actually has got the hellobeta.in platform for the distribution and stuff like that. So they're one of the Kolkata partners. Then a little bit about RHCF. It's actually focused much into the land of healthcare, and they're one of the most accomplished non-profit from the Kolkata and West Bengal. They've been studied at Harvard, Yale. They're part of the Giving India Foundation as well, and they're doing such amazing job on the land of Kolkata. Kolkata Gives is an foundation which started by a set of entrepreneurs. They are like a foundation, a platform rather, who sort of bets in a lot of the other non-profit and sort of try to fund them wherever appropriate. Pavanda is here with us today. He can take any questions and answer. And then, of course, on the East Coast, we have this Kolkata Foundation, which has been formed not too long ago, 3-4 years ago, but they are doing tremendous work, and purely philanthropic organization. And it's definitely something we wanted to work together as a team. Then Shogato and AIMS on the bottom, they are talking to us, partnering with us for a very long time. During the whole last year and this year as well, they try to help out musicians and artists and the singers. So that's really the whole consortium that got formed, and every one of us had our roles in there. We sort of took up the supply chain and procuring the concentrator and sending it to Kolkata, whereas Mukti is handling the distribution and the whole e-platform of Halovita. Kolkata Foundation, they're doing donation drive. Dhriti is doing an amazing job of connecting a group of volunteers from the grounds of Kolkata back to the consortium and mobilizing the things. And again, RSCF is providing the telemedicine support, and they're actually also looking at the partner management. Kolkata Gives is sort of, doing the sponsorship, and trying to make sure that all the entrepreneurs are coming together, and then they're taking on big time projects like, putting 200 beds in a facility and ramping up that facility to allow critical and severe patients in there. We also thank our partner organization. As I said, we can't do this alone. We already talked about Mukti, Kolkata Gives, RSCF, and on the East Coast, Kolkata Foundation and AIM. But on the West Coast, we are very thankful that Utsav of Sacramento came from Bay Area, Samaskriti, Bebashi, and then we also have a new partner from Utah, Ullas. They also came forward and they said that they want to actually join hands in the venture, and they want to help out. So I'm not going to go into the details. So there are, mainly there are three things. We wanted to do oxygen supply, oxygen concentrator, oxygen cylinders, oximeter. These are sort of the kind of things we wanted to have procure and deliver for, dealing with the emergency situation and stuff like that. But that's not really, a long-term cure or anything like that. So there are three categories of resources we identified. One is oxygen supplies, oxygen concentrator, oximeter, oxygen cylinders. Then we also are doing 10,000 medicine kits. That's for mild to moderate sort of symptoms, and this oxygen concentrator and oxygen supply is not a cure for severely battered patients, but it actually gives you time to find a facility while you are at home, and 5 to 10% people get impacted. They have issues with oxygen supply and all. They can use the concentrator, they get better with the use of medicine and stuff like that, but then quite a few of them actually need to eventually get hospitalized, and they need to find a bed. What this does actually, allows you to buy time, because there are shortages of the beds, and then there are these crazy things going on the grounds of Kolkata and West Bengal. But for the long term, the prevention is the best cure. And we wanted to do vaccination camps, and some of the vaccinations are, requiring high-level procurement, and we are just scrambling and figuring out where we can actually get bulk vaccinations and start doing vaccination camps. And that we can only make it possible while we can work through the government agencies and healthcare units on the grounds of India and West Bengal. The telemedicine support is what, sort of appealing to another sector where we are also hearing there's a lot of shortage of the people in terms of providing expert advice and the doctors writing prescriptions. So the telemedicine is what was actually started rolling out. We started rolling out so that people can call a doctor and get some advice. Next slide.
So thank you, Sudipto. And I will continue for some of these complexities and the challenges we as a team have faced. And again, thank you for everybody participating in this webinar. While we had this challenge 4 weeks back when a few of our team members at Prabashi felt that, okay, we need to do something. And the first thing that we were coming across is basically, should we be able to send an oxygen concentrator or an oxygen cylinder? And because of the challenges in terms of the logistics and the distribution, we finally thought that, okay, oxygen concentrator will be the right theme of solution. The second challenge that we came here is basically to identify the right vendor, because, and again, in today, because there's a scarcity of this particular device, we had to look into two things. And number one is the availability of the units immediately, and number two is that the availability of the service centers in India, so that in case any of those devices go bad, they can be replaced or serviced very quickly. So while we were doing that, we were lucky enough to come across a good vendor called Sunrai, and we have been sourcing most of our devices from them. And coincidentally, based on our distribution, what we are doing, companies like Seva Foundation, Red Cross, and a few other companies have also sourced the same vendor. So we have been lucky enough to get them in the right spot of time. Now, another thing that also came in place is while we are doing all the supply chain moderation, since it has all been procured from China, 3 weeks back, one of their primary cargo flight was suspended by Chinese Airways called Sichuan Airways. And because of that, again, we had to scramble in terms of the logistics support of delivering those units to Delhi and then to Kolkata. It again took a lot of legwork as well as the coordination with many team members. And finally, we were able to finalize one chartered flight, which will fly directly from China all the way to Delhi and then to Kolkata. So those are some of those logistical situations which took a lot of time and effort from everybody involved in this situation in order to help us out. A few things also helped us during this whole initiative is the cost. Of course, there's always an import tax, the custom duty, which is going to be levied on anything that's coming from international soil. We got that support from Indian government that the customs was waived. And as a matter of fact, very recently, they have also waived some portion of GST, which is again control the cost while we are distributing that to the final location. Other than because there are a few things that are very interesting in this whole initiative. Number one was gathering of funds from all our friends and families. And number two was making sure that the funds go to the right destination point. And number three was making sure that the distribution of the units are going in the timely manner. So while we are all doing those things, the Indian government created another situation for most of our NGOs because they introduced this Foreign Regulation Act. Because of that, unless and until you have a FICRA compliance, you will not be able to receive dollars in their NGOs. So while we had identified Mukti and Rural Foundation, we had some challenges in order to distribute that money properly there. And then finally, through our support of a lot of CPAs and CFAs that we were working very closely, we found out a way that we were able to source the fund directly to their New York office, and from there the distribution happens to India. While we're managing all those things, of course, the quality is of main significance out here. We are very glad to share that all the units that has been distributed have been working successfully in India, and we don't have any kind of downtime on any of the units. Of course, we did came across some of the units from other vendors, and unfortunately, a lot of those units go bad within 15-20 minutes, but our devices have been running 24/7 for the last 6-7 days that has been distributed in the soil. In terms of the distribution, was also another challenge that we have faced. When we talk about the distribution, initially we felt that using that e-portal that Sudipta was mentioning, Hello Beta, we will be able to channelize everything through this 800 now, the 9696 number, and we will be able to properly get that distribution out to that on-demand support or personal support to all the people who are looking for a concentrator. Very quickly, we realized that that is not a scalable model. And there are centers like Belur Math or Ramakrishna Mission or a few other hospitals where they are in a dire need. So through our association and through our relationship with many other institutes, we are happy to say that we have been able to distribute a lot of those units even to some of those institutions like Ramakrishna Mission, Belur Math, and a few other places. So that's, and we have now 2 channels of distribution. One is personal support, which is going to be through the Hello Beta line. And the second thing is through the vetting process that, again, Kolkata Gibbs is the company who will be ensuring that whoever we are supplying these units, say it be Belur Mott or Ramakrishna Mission or something else, they will be able to ensure that it is going to a credible organization and they're able to keep track of that asset. So these are some of our current accomplishments thus far. We have been able to ship almost 235 units. In all, we have 1190 units that is going to be delivered to India at the end of this month. And we have a very tight schedule, and every day we will be receiving somewhere around 50 to 75 units on a daily basis. And it is through Mukti Foundation and Rural Healthcare and everybody involved, we have found a very nice model where every distribution, the point it lands in Kolkata, not even a single minute is wasted. It has been, it goes to the warehouse immediately, and within 45 to 50 minutes, it is on the service line, and somebody is able to provide that devices to that facility as and when needed. We have this helpline that has been distributed through Hello Beta again, and telemedicine is something that Sudipta was referring to. Rural healthcare, they have been doing a phenomenal job in order to ensure that they're offering the telemedicine as well as the medicine to the people who are in need. So this is again some of the very quick analytics that we have done so far. So out of so many units that we have delivered, almost 16,000 hours that has been serviced thus far, and we have been able to service a good number of patients in terms of their immediate needs, at the same time helping them to use the concentrator for the interim process till they get to the hospital bed and then get cured. In terms of the channelization and distribution, we were able to not only service the primary Kolkata 24 Parganas as well as the south and the north 24 Parganas. We are also able to service places like Sundarban, Shiliguri, Purulia. Shiliguri is almost like 300, 400 miles out of Kolkata, and we have been able to work with the Indian team as well as the logistics with the vendor. They have been very kind enough to distribute some of the units to Kolkata and some of the units to Shiliguri, and even remote places like Purulia and a few other places in the rural areas. So that is really helping us to get these things going on the floor, on the ground. And we want to make sure that whenever the unit is getting delivered to our Kolkata dock, and not even a single minute is wasted, and it is in service immediately. And based on that, everybody's timely support and help is commendable. In terms of the footprint, you can see that how it has been moved in the last, because it has been only, I would say, 6 days that has been on the floor. So within the 6 days, we have been able to really mobilize a lot of these things. Through rural healthcare, we have been able to have partnership with companies like Uber, who are able to help us in order to do the distribution of those concentrators to the people in need. And it has been going very well. And unless and until we have the support for everybody involved, none of this was possible. Thank you. So, and again, we are constantly getting a lot of gratitude to comments as well as thank you notes from our friends and families who have been able to get the support from us immediately. And again, we are just doing a small portion of whatever we can. And again, as Sudipta was mentioning, we hope we don't have to go through this process again in our lifetime. This is it, and we just do whatever we can in order to make sure that this has been serviced properly. In terms of the initiative, we started with a very humble beginning when myself, Sudipta, and a few of our Prabhashri team members initiated with maybe a budget of 50,000 for sending maybe a few concentrators initially. Then with the ongoing support from everybody involved, slowly we raised up the bar, and right now we are looking at $1 million kind of a donation drive, which will help us to go get up to 700 concentrators. Again, while I was sharing some of the complexities and challenges, one thing that I missed out is the pricing. because of the scarcity of the devices, the logistical changes, as well as the additional cost that is involved in order to get the units to Kolkata, it has been increasing. So our cost has increased from the day we started. The cost of these units have increased by almost 30%. So we initially had anticipated going with 1,000 concentrators directly from all the way from US support. Right now, we are planning to go for around 700, because not only the concentrators would be of help to the people, but also generating enough funds for medicine kits, as well as other operation and logistical support that we have to cover for the team in India. So that's where we are today. And again, we need everybody's support in order to get this thing going in very quickly, because the time is of essence here, and we are looking forward to this number to hit very quickly. And in terms of the distribution, and again, one thing that always come in mind is if you are a charity organization, how much of the money is actually going to the locations, the centers, the healthcare workers, as well as the actual support that we're giving. We are glad to tell you that almost 92 to 93% of the money that we are acquiring is going directly to those facilities, in order to either it's going to be acquiring medicine kits or concentrators for the needy in Kolkata and West Bengal. And other than that, we are able to keep very minimal cost in terms of the logistics and operations. The logistics, which means that if at all we have to move this units, let's say it reaches Kolkata airport, from there it has to move to Purulia or Siliguri or some other XYZ location, then that distribution cost is what it is costing there. And in terms of the operation, Hello Beta is ramping up very quickly, so that they are able to reach out as many people as they can through their helpline and call center support. So we will be allocating certain amount of funds to cover some of those expenses that are required for those workers that are going to helping us in this initiative. Yeah, thank you.
So thank you so much, Manush, for that update. So as you can see, it has been an arduous journey, but the journey has been good. As Manush was mentioning, we have a goal of 1 million or so, and out of which we have already raised about 300,000 or so. Again, this would not have been possible if we did not have the generous support of people like Arijit Sengupta. Arijit is the founder and CEO of AIable. He had earlier founded a company called Beyond Core, which is sold to Salesforce. And Arijit was one of the first persons to actually jump on the board and say, yes, I'm going to contribute. And his donation of 10,000 actually spurred a dollar-to-dollar matching program in the whole community here. So, but after that, we actually meet that goal within a couple of days. That was the impact of whatever his dollar-to-dollar matching program started. But he upped the program now. Now, what he has again promised us is that he's going to donate another 10K, again with a dollar-to-dollar matching program. So for every dollar that somebody else donates, he's going to match it with one more dollar to a total of 10K. So I urge all of you today here to donate generously. This is a cause that we hope we never have to donate again. This is maybe the first time and probably should be the last time that we're actually donating for this cause. So join up. Like Arijit is there to help match your donations. In addition to this, you also have, some of your companies have the company match program, where if you donate, the company will match once or twice that amount that you have donated. So all these things would actually help us in raising our funding goals. So in addition to Arijit, we have Tirthankar Lahiri, who is also a $10,000 donor. We really appreciate the generous donation of all these people here, without whom we have not been able to reach our goals. So we also have a lot of other donors, out of which we are just mentioning the 5K donors today, Arijit and Chandana and Ashok and Rita Sinha. We thank all of them who are supporting us in our mission here today. But we have miles to go. We really have miles to go. What happened was, as Sudipta was saying, right, we started this with a very humble mission. Let's raise 50,000 and let's see where we land up. But we soon start to realize that's nothing. Then we started to, we upped the ante and said, let's raise 200,000. We soon realized that's not enough too. But as of now, we do realize that we need to raise about 1 million, out of which about 140 we have to raise by this week. So we are in urgent need to send 200 additional concentrators by this week or so, for which we have to raise 140K as such. So I urge all of you to open up your purses, open up your hearts, and start filling the coffers. There are many ways to donate. Of course, online is the best way to donate. The Pravashi website has got a PayPal link by which you could donate, but sometimes that may not be the most viable way because of many reasons. You could also do a direct bank transfer. That doesn't actually impact or cost anything else. And you can always do paper checks. The good old paper checks still work for us. But more important than that, I sincerely urge all of you to support and share this program. Number one thing that we can all do is help us. We are literally inundated. Like a lot of people here on the panelists today have not slept. Not me though. I have a business to run too, but people have not slept for nights because they have been so much involved in this. We really want help. So please join us, volunteer your time and effort into this program. Work with your companies. Tell them about the corporate match program. Let them also start donating to this cause. And then whenever you tweet, whenever you do any social media activities, use a simple hashtag, Kolkata Breathe. If you use that hashtag, our words get amplified, and hence our donations and all those things, our work and everything gets amplified too. So please support and share the program. With that, thank you. We really appreciate it.
So, right. No, thank you, Manasa. Thank you, DJ. One thing I like to, so DJ, if you could just roll back to the previous slide. I just want to mention one thing. So this is a consortium, right? It's not like Pravashi or Kolkata Foundation. There are lots of other organizations. They're working with us, and they're trying to make this thing happen. We have Utsav from Sacramento. We have Bebashi. We have Sanskriti, we have Ullas from Utah, and then Kolkata Foundation also managing and maintaining a lot of partners. You don't really have to do it through us. Please feel free to donate to everybody, and we are all together in this. And no matter of where and how you actually do the donation, the money is going to go to the right place, and it's going to make a real difference, right? So that's really one of the things I really wanted to mention about that, we are in this together. It's probably one of the rare things where you'll see that all the Bengali organizations are trying to come together. But, that's the thing, right? One of the things we realized this pandemic and a lot of crises, give us a cause to unite. And we have been trying our heart and soul. If you know somebody trying to partner with us, join hands, send the help. There are cases where hearing, from Pune, Delhi, there are other places also they are coming and asking us for help because nobody actually could able to do what we did, in 10 days. On 10th day, I think we got the concentrator out on the lands of Calcutta and got them at work. But we are not being selfish. The same vendor and the contact has been broadly spread out to everybody and anybody who came to our contact and said that, hey, I need help. And our vendor is also very supportive. They're trying their best as well. So, and beyond just Kolkata and West Bengal, we are just very empathetic about the situation anywhere that is happening, whether it's India or Brazil or anywhere else. So, we are just trying to do our part, being very selfless over here, and trying to help wherever and whenever we can. So I guess that's really the motto. And as long as it serves the people and saves the life, we would be feeling happy.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yep. As we close, I will mention that This is a video recording. So the video of this would be there on the website. The PDF also would be there on the website. So all of you can always look back into this. So if you need to get an update, and more importantly, we'll be doing it on a weekly basis. So every Thursday, we'll be repeating this. Of course, we'll be talking about the deltas, meaning whatever we have achieved in the last 1 week. We won't be going over everything over again. But this is our way to make sure that everybody understands that fundraising is one part, but making sure that it actually reaches the needy at the right time, at the right place, is the largest part actually. And we are really trying our best to make sure end-to-end things happen. It's not easy. Sudipto can tell you about the issues that they have been having. Manush can tell you all that, but it's not easy, but we are trying our best. So please join hands. Please, let's do it all.
And actually, the DJ, on the same note, I like to actually say a few words about our partners and the people actually who are making this happen.
Yes.
Mukti has started another service where they're sending food, at home. There are a lot of elderly people being stuck at home. They are not getting the aid, even the basic food and healthy food. They started a free of cost delivery service. It's costing them 100, 200, 150 rupees with the delivery, 120 rupees to be precise. But they're doing it, they're just exhausting all their funds. I know when we had this FCRA thing hit hard, Shankar, Ananda, all these organizations emptied their bank, all the reserve they had. They said, we are going to pitch in, we are going to pull in the money, but, try to make sure that devices come here. So, they're like, and these are not small numbers. They're like 50 lakhs, 70 lakhs, that kind of a money we are talking about. And we know that they're just, Pawanji has been said something. I just want to say that, we are getting our ROI in terms of the blessings. That's the word actually, the exact phrase that he used. And that's exactly what we are striving for and making us going. And think about all the frontline people, whoever is delivering the stuff at their home, and yesterday night, there were a few cases from US. We are helping them on the daily basis. There's a NRI support line we came up with, and we'll be advertising them shortly. It's East Coast and West Coast Alliance, so that we can actually have this 24/7 coverage, or at least be close to be 24/7. And there were cases where we are actually asking them to deliver a concentrator in the middle of night, 2 a.m. In the morning in India time. And that is getting delivered within like half an hour. That is unbelievable amount of job these people are doing. And knowing that, and I know that few of the people I have worked with personally, I have been working with personally, they have their brother died, out of this, whole pandemic. And 2 days, they're just out. And third day, they came back and they said, I want to do it for my brother. I think that really, I want to do it for my father, right? That is really the thing which is keeping us going, and Ananda, Shankar, Pawanji can talk more. Dhriti is another passionate guy from Kolkata Foundation. He is just, getting to the nitty-gritty detail roots of Kolkata, Robin Hood Army, Tribeca, you name it. Any volunteers that are on the ground who can actually go to the location and help the person, we are going and doing that help, right? And that is really an unbelievable amount of passion and work and due diligence people are doing. And so I thank you, everybody, and I really thank our Kolkata side of the things, given the situation, given the struggles that they're going through. And I really wish all the best to them. And if we could do something more when the situation revives, we will try to do everything. And this consortium is for good, and this consortium is now, after the pandemic, is going to join their hands together and work on economic development. There's going to be a lot of issues, food, supply, job, and we will continue the momentum and we'll do our part. We want Bengal, we want Kolkata, to rise up and hold our ground and stood up as it used to be. And I am very confident that, if we can come together, we'll be able to do so.
Sure.
And I just see some good comments here. Ria Mukherjee has expressed her words of appreciation for our work. So Ria, thank you so much for those nice words. But the only thing that I have to comment, if we don't do now, when? This is the time to act. This is the time to do something for our motherland. So let's all join hands and let's get it done. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.